Okay, so today this video is to help you study for the chapter 11 test, which is all about squares and rectangles. Basically, you should be applying everything that you've learned about angles in chapter 9 and parallel and perpendicular lines in chapter 10, and then applying that to some new stuff we have learned in chapter 11. The first thing I want to remind you is the difference between a square, let's pretend that I'm a good drawer, and a rectangle. First of all, you should know that a square has 4 right angles, as does a rectangle. You should know that a square has all equal sides. So if this is 2, this is 2, this is 2, and this is 2, which is what those little tick marks mean. So even if I didn't put 2's here, you should just be able to realize that if there's one tick here that says 2, then that means that this tick is 2, and this tick is 2, and this tick mark is 2. A rectangle is different than a square, though, because on a rectangle, the opposite sides are equal. So this one, if this side is 2, then the opposite side is also 2. I'm putting 2 tick marks here and 2 tick marks here to show that these 2 sides are equal. So if this is 6, then the other side is 6. Opposite sides are equal. The other part of squares and rectangles that you should know is that a square has 2 sets of parallel lines. There's one. Here's another set. And the same goes for a rectangle. They have 2 sets of parallel lines. And they both have 4 sets of perpendicular lines, which we know are 90-degree angles. And now you can see that I have this lovely drawing of a square and a rectangle. So just keep that in mind when you are applying what you know about squares and rectangles. We're going to do some practice problems that will hopefully get you ready for the test tomorrow. The first one, I'm looking at it and I'm noticing that it looks like a rectangle. And it says line SR, so I always highlight SR, is 3 times as long as PS. Well, PS is 6, and I obviously can see that line SR is definitely longer. Well, how much longer? It said it's 3 times as much longer. So if this is 6, I need 3 times 6, which I know, if I count, 6, 12, 18 is 18. Phew, oh, sorry guys. I'm hoping you said bless you to me. 18 feet, make sure you have the label, and you are good to go. And then obviously if this is 18, then that's 18, and if this side's 6, then that side's 6, because in a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. Okay, keep in mind, this is obviously a square. If this is a square, then you automatically should realize that there are 4 90-degree angles. So I know that this side's 90, that in here is 90, and here is 90, and then in here, it has to equal a total of 90. However, they've broken this corner, this angle up into pieces. So I know we don't know what this is. I know this is 38, and I don't know what that is. I always start with what I do know. If the whole is 90 and a piece of it is 38, I need to get rid of it. So I need to do 90 minus 38. And I'm going to subtract, and I get 52. Well, I have 2 x's though. That can't be 52, and that can't be 52, because 52 plus 52 is already over 100. Never mind adding the 38, which is definitely going to be more than 90 degrees. So obviously, if I'm using common sense, I would realize that I have to split this 52 up. Well, if I look, they gave me 2 x's. That means that this number is the same as this number. If they were different, they would have said, oh, this is x and this is y. But they didn't. It's 2 x's, so I know the number has to be the same. Since it's the same, I'm going to split my 52 in half. I'm going to divide by 2, and if you want to use a calculator on the test, you can. 2 goes into 5 twice, with a remainder of 1. 2 goes into 12 6 times, no remainder. So I know that x must be 26 degrees. I could even check by adding all of my numbers up and hopefully getting 90. So if I add, that's 12 plus 8 is 0, that's 20, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I get 90, so I know my answer is correct. X equals 26 degrees, okay? This one is a composite figure. Whenever I look at these, first of all, I would read the little thing up here. The figure is made up of line segments that meet at right angles. Write the steps you would use to find the lengths of GH. So first I highlight GH and DE. I'm going to highlight them just so they stand out for me. This is what I'm trying to find. Then what I always do is I always look and split the shape up. I'm like, ooh, there's a little square right here. And so if that's 1 and that's 1, then this has to be 1. So here is a rectangle. I don't know why I'm doing this in a different color. I'm going to confuse you. Let me make this like green. I'm splitting it up here. So if this is 1 and this whole thing is 5, I know that 1 minus 5, I'll get 4. So this piece right here must be 4, okay? So if this is 4, then I know this is 4. And if this whole side is 5, then this whole side is 5. But I already have my 1, so this little piece is 5. And then I'm going to look down here at my rectangle on the bottom. And sometimes I even cover up the top rectangle, and which I could do. I'm going to see if I can do it on here. My screen shade. And if I bring it up, I'm just going to cover it. So if you want a sticky tomorrow, you can take a sticky. If this side is 3, I know that this side is 3. And if this side is 7, I know that up here is 7. I already have 4 of it, so 7 minus 4 gets me to 3. So I know that that is 3. If I remove my cover, oh look, I've already figured out G to H. G to H is 3, because 3 plus 4 is 7. So I know G, H equals 7 centimeters. And I need DE, a 3, a 5. So this is 3. This part is 5. And 3 plus 5 is 8. So I know DE equals 8 centimeters. And I know it looks messy at the end, but I really suggest using your highlighter tomorrow in the test so you can highlight what you're trying to find. All right, final one. The figure is made up of 3 rectangles. Let's see. Here's one of them. Now I'm going to split this. I might do a line right here. There's 2, and there's my 3 rectangles. I have 3 rectangles. Find the length of AJ and HG. Well, I'm going to highlight. I have a little highlighter. Look at this. I do have a highlighter. Okay. AJ. Ooh, where is that? There it is. And HG down here. Now that I have my highlighter, I can find the rest. So, HG. Let's see. I'm going to start, and I'm going to use my shade. Look at this. The smartboard is coming in handy. Here's my shade. Okay, let me pull it down. And I'm going to do this one first up here. If this side is 8, then I know this side is 8. And if this top part is 20, then I know this whole bottom line is 20. Okay, I'm going to move it down. And let's see. I'm going to do... right here. If this side is 11, then I know this side is 11. And look, I've already figured out my J because I have 2 numbers. I have 8 and 11. Well, 8 plus 11 is 19. So I know that AJ is 19. Okay? And if I look down here, I want this shape, HG. Well, let's see. How would I figure that out? If this is 3, oh, I know. This whole thing is 20. And look, this little piece right here is 3, so this is 3. So I need to chop off that 3 because I only want to know a piece of it. And 20 minus 3 is 17. So I know that HG is 17 centimeters. Okay? I really suggest using your stick notes as well. Okay, now we've got one of these crazy figures, which I think confused some people today. So I'm going to get at my highlighter. And it says the measure of angle MNQ. So I take my highlighter, M. Oops, I messed up already. Let me get my highlighter again. M, N, Q. I know that I'm looking for the angle in the middle. N is in the middle, and N is in the middle here on my highlighting. So I'm trying to find this corner. Automatically, it's a rectangle, so I know the whole corner is 90. But I only want this little piece right here. This side is 36, so I need to get rid of it. So I'm going to do 90 minus 36. And I get 54 degrees. So I know that that corner is 54 degrees. Now I'm going to erase my work so that way it's not confusing when you look at it. And I'm now going to do the next section, which says OMP. So O to M to P. Once again, my M is in the middle and my M is in the middle, so I am looking at this angle. Well, I know the whole thing is 90 because it's a rectangle, and I know that I have 15, so I need to get rid of that. So I'm going to do 90 minus 15, and I'm going to get 75 degrees, okay? more. This figure is made up of 2 rectangles, and I can see my 2 rectangles. Find the length of ST and RS. So I'm going to get out my highlighter. ST, I have to find it, and RS. Okay. I am going to first figure out one side, of this. Let me get my shade up. And I'm going to do this side first. So, let's see. Well, it's not really helpful. I don't really have anything there. So I'm going to, instead of doing that side, problem solve and then do the other side because I don't know what to do there. And I see that this whole side up here is 20. So I know down here is 20. And I see that this whole side is, oops, I lied, 12. Hopefully we're thinking the same thing. This whole side is 20, so I know that this whole side has to be 20. But look, I already have 12 of it. It's just like the angles. I have a hole and I'm missing a little part. I need to get rid of this 12. So if I have 20 and I'm subtracting 12 from it, I need to think of what that is, which is 8. So I know that this is also 8. So now I can look at the rest of my drawing, and if I see that this side is 8 and this is 8, I know that this question mark has to be 16 because 8 plus 8 is 16. So ST equals 16 centimeters. And now I need RS. Well, if the whole bottom, and if it even helps you, like if you're doing it and you're like, there's too many numbers and you want to erase them, go for it. The whole bottom here is 26, but I don't want the whole bottom. I only want this piece, which I know is going to be the same as this piece. And if I'm looking here, this piece is the same as this piece, which is the same as this piece, so that has to be 12. Well, if I have 26, I need to get rid of my 12. And I have 14, so then I know that RS must equal 14 centimeters. All right, let's do this one. Hopefully you're realizing that we're trying to find C. This is a 90-degree angle because it's a square, so you have to do 90. Get rid of the 32 because that's a piece of the 90 degrees. And you get 58, and that would be 58 degrees. Two more. ABCD is a rectangle. Its shorter side, so this looks like the shorter side, is half the length of the longer side. Well, if this is 12, half of 12, I'm thinking 12 divided by 2 is 6. So then DC must equal 6 centimeters. You have to be careful when you're reading that you're reading it correctly. This one, JKLM is a rectangle. Its length is 3 times its width. Well, I know the width is the shorter part, which is this, and the length is this longer part. It says the length is 3 times as the width. Well, the width is 2, and it's 3 times. What's 2 times 3? I know that that's 6, so JM has to equal 6. And our very last one, the figure below is made up of a rectangle and a square. EC equals CH. Let's see. EC, these are equal. So if this is 2 and this is 2, or if this is 3, this is 3. We don't know what they are yet, so we'll figure that out. Actually, let's think about it right now. If this whole side is 6, and you know this whole side has to be 6, well, if you're splitting in half of 6, this would have to be 3, and this side would have to be 3. So already, we found those two, so I know I'm going to put that there. 3, 3, and it's a square, so this has to be 6, and this has to be 6. And let's see, we need to find, BE. Where's BE? Oh, BE. We need to find EF. Oh, we found EF, that's 6. And we need to find CH, which we also found, that's 3. All we have to find left is BE. So, let's figure it out. If this whole side is 18, then I know this whole side is 18 because they're parallel to each other. So, I have 3, so I need to chop that off because I don't want it. And 18 minus 3 is 15. So BE is 15. But it says find the total length. So I need to add all of these together. Well, 6 plus 3 is 9. So I have to do 15 plus 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. And I end up getting 24 centimeters as my final answer. You have that study guide as well that I hand wrote and that you did in class today. I suggest doing that and reviewing that as well before the test tomorrow. And good luck. I'll see you then.